Iran-U.S. nuclear talks on the brink as global powers scramble for control. Khamenei's secret message to Putin ahead of Rome talks, as Trump issues final warning to Iran. Saudi defense minister lands in Tehran amid explosive Iran-U.S. nuclear standoff. As diplomatic tensions soar and the nuclear clock ticks louder, the world's focus narrows on one burning question: will Rome host a nuclear breakthrough, or become the backdrop for the next global crisis? In a whirlwind week of diplomatic maneuvering, Saudi Arabia's defense minister landed in Tehran. Russia welcomed Iran's top diplomat. And now, all eyes are on Rome, officially confirmed as the venue for the next round of U.S. Iran nuclear talks this weekend. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, fresh from his visit to Moscow, hand-delivered a personal message from Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei to Russian President Vladimir Putin, a move underscoring just how high the stakes are for Tehran. In a joint press appearance, Araghchi reaffirmed Iran's stance: its right to enrich uranium is non-negotiable. Meanwhile, in Washington, President Donald Trump's patience is wearing thin. "I think they're tapping us along," he said from the Oval Office, signaling frustration with Tehran's tactics and hinting at a possible shift toward a more aggressive U.S. stance if talks fail to move forward.
Iran has to get rid of the concept of a nuclear weapon. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. He can't have a nuclear weapon. Nobody can have. We can't have anybody having nuclear weapons, you know? We can't have nuclear weapons. And I think they're tapping us along because we're so used to dealing with stupid people in this country. And I had Iran perfect. You had no attacks. You would have never had October 7th in Israel, the attack by Hamas, because Iran was broke. They were stone cold broke when I was president. And I don't want to do it. I want them to be a rich, great nation. The only thing is, one thing, simple. It's really simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And they got to go fast because they're fairly close to having one. And they're not going to have one. And if we have to do something very harsh, we'll do it. And I'm not doing it for us, I'm doing it for the world. And these are radicalized people, and they cannot have a nuclear weapon.
His comments come as the IAEA reports that Iran's uranium stockpile has reached 274.8 kilograms enriched to 60%, dangerously close to the 90% threshold for weapons-grade material. The latest IAEA assessments have intensified pressure on all parties to act before diplomacy's window slams shut. Araghchi's Moscow stop was more than symbolic. Russia continues to play the role of power broker, calling for restraint and reiterating its support for diplomacy. "We are expecting Iranian colleagues," confirmed Maria Zakharova, spokesperson for Russia's foreign ministry. Meanwhile, Iran's engagement with Russia and China is making waves across Europe. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noel Barrot and his British and German counterparts have issued a unified message: Europe will not be sidelined. They've vowed vigilance and full participation in any new nuclear arrangement. After days of venue confusion, Geneva, Oman, and even a possible return to Muscat, the fog has finally cleared. Rome will host the next U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. The Associated Press confirmed the news through an Italian government source, and Iran has now officially acknowledged the shift. Still, Oman will retain a key role. Like the previous session in Muscat, this weekend's negotiations in Rome will be indirect, with Oman continuing as the primary mediator. As Araghchi strengthens Tehran's alliances, and Trump tightens Washington's grip, the IAEA has stepped directly into the fray. Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi arrived in Tehran ahead of the Rome summit, warning that negotiations are now at a very crucial stage. His team will play a critical role in verifying any agreement that may emerge from Rome.
What's going to be the next thing you'll be talking about is Iran. What's going to happen with Iran? And there'll be some interesting days ahead. That's all I can tell you. You know, we're down to final strokes with Iran. That's going to be an interesting time. And we'll see what happens. But we're down to the final moments. We're at final moments. You can't let them have a nuclear weapon. I think that I would have had a deal within 1 month after the rigged election of 2020. They were all set to make a deal. And then when I lost, they saw this person who's a stupid person, very stupid person. And they said, let's not make a deal. And they were right. He took the sanctions off. They became rich under Biden. They went from having no money to having $300 billion.